Alright, we'll see if I can do this. I've got a little Sashki being adorable. I just wanted to do an update because today was eventful. The lightings are not very good in this place that I chose. Still look like a ghoul. Mommy's a ghoul. Sash. Good. Oh, is that you? Did you see it? I tried. Today I had an appointment to go over the results of my sleep study and my MSLT. I've been calling it MLST, but I'm pretty sure it's MSLT. Oh, I'm so tired, guys. This has been my whole day. Again, it's funny that I mentioned this. I have narcolepsy with cataplexy. It can't be cured. Some doctors see it as an autoimmune disease. It can also be caused by traumatic brain injury. In my case, I started having issues with sleep back in 2008 or 9. I had an incidence of sleep paralysis for the first time in my life. I was on vacation. I was in North Carolina with my then boyfriend and my entire family. And one night, I woke up in the middle of the night, I turned on some lights so I could go to the bathroom, came back, laid down next to my boyfriend, and was trying to fall asleep, and every now and then, like, my hearing would go into a different frequency. It was really strange. And then there was, like, whispering. And I was like, oh, what's this? I'm like, I'm gonna go with it, because I'm a spiritual person. Like, maybe this is, like, some spirit coming through. Hallelujah. And it went into a final frequency thing, and all of a sudden I heard this woman yell, get out. And I'm like, duh. So it's funny too because after that incident, I woke my boyfriend up and we went downstairs and slept because I was like, is this place haunted? What is going on? I've never experienced this before. I've never heard things before. I think about that moment a lot because there was another time where my little sister and I, we got in a big fight about it, and she said that it was all in my head and it was just sleep paralysis. It wasn't like a ghost experience. And I still don't know what it was. However, I do remember that I could not move when it happened. And after that moment, I had continued horrible dreams, horrible sleeping in general. Hey, Sasha. Come here. You're not getting into the trash. Get up here. Good girl. Very good. I think about that moment a lot, though. It's when you start wondering if you're crazy. So after that, I remembered first starting to see kind of colors. And it was during like personal stuff, like sexual encounters. If I was aroused, I would start seeing colors. Eventually, it progressed to the point where I would see colors and I would get these muscle jerks. It would happen just during the day. Like, it happens periodically throughout the day. Like, I honestly don't even think it stops for me now.
Sick. Tried to go out and about. There's one. I've just been doing this pretty much the whole car ride.
Which kind of makes me a little sad. Like, I just went like, but I see colors pretty much constantly. It's like an overlay of colors. And then the muscle jerks happen if I get too excited or if I relax after having been tense. And I relax. And as soon as I relax, like, my head will shoot off to the side. Yeah, well, you've seen it. You watch my channel. You've seen my videos, like the tale of a spastic Suze. Another really interesting thing that I learned about narcolepsy today was that it causes the emotional disturbances as well. So my mood swings that would happen, like, I would feel this buildup, and then I would feel this, I would get one of the spasms, and then it would trigger what seemed like a hormonal response or something, and all of a sudden I would either start crying, like I was sad, even though I didn't feel sad.
Yeah, you know, upset.
Or I would start like this euphoria, kind of laughing. And this talks about that. This mentions that that happens. And I'm like, why did it take over 10 years to be like, Susie, let's give you a sleep test. Let's see what this is about. I know the reason why I waited so long, because I didn't think sleep was a thing. Like, I didn't think it was a big deal and everything, because, like, yeah, I had insomnia. Yeah, I couldn't sleep through the night, and yeah, it got worse. And yeah, during full moons, I didn't sleep at all. And I have really vivid dreams. And oh yeah, I can't sleep during the day because then I get sleep paralysis. Hey, come here. I guess, sleep paralysis. But, you know, there's nothing wrong. What's with all this other stuff, huh? Why is this going on? Oh, how's your sleep, Susie? Yeah, you know, it's probably the same as everyone else's, but what's going on here? What's all this? So yeah, it started with that first moment of sleep paralysis, and then it turned into seeing colors during, like, exciting moments. And then it turned into, I started, like, having really vivid dreams, sometimes bad, where I would be attacked and I would attack back. And so there were a few moments when I punched the wall. And there was one moment, one night, sorry Brian, I remember sitting up, turning over, and punching Brian in the face, and then laying back asleep. And he stirred next to me, and he's like, someone just punched me! And I'm like, I think that was me! I'm like, why did I punch him? It still makes me feel really weird that I did that. But that wasn't the first time it happened. The second time it happened, which is why I finally went to the doctors asking about this, was I had had a couple mornings or days when I tried to take a nap and I had sleep paralysis. And I got stuck in this hell, like this limbo of hell. I guess it's not hell if it's limbo. It's one or the other. But I got stuck there where I knew I was sleeping, but I couldn't move. And I was having the weird dreams that kind of like associated themselves around me. Like I felt like I could hear myself downstairs walking up the steps, and I was reliving myself downstairs even though I knew I was in this space. And so then I would consciously try to speak out if someone was nearby. I'd be like, ugh. I think that was like the only noise I could really get out. They don't know what's going on. They think you're sleeping. They probably imagined that you made a noise until you wake up then and you're like, oh my god, I was screaming for you. Oh yeah, this was another thing that happened in my sleep. Another thing that happened in my sleep that really caused concern for me, but I didn't know if it was in the dream or not. I would have these vivid dreams, or I would have the sleep paralysis, and all of a sudden I could hear really loud, like this heavy breathing, like this hyperventilation. Hi, sweetie. I'm not trying to concern you. Hi. Thank you for checking on me. But I would hear that breathing noise, and I never knew if it actually happened or if it was just kind of like in my dream. I don't know, like sound effects for my dreams. I don't know. You know, I dreams in movies. When I was with Sean last, when we started dating again, and he was laying next to me in bed. In the morning, or it might have been during the night too, I had one of those incidents where I started hyperventilating. I was having this vivid dream. I was asleep, and I felt like I was like fighting for my life. And Sean tried to stir me, and so he like took my shoulder. He's like, hey, and it shook me out of it. And so my first instinct was I pushed him away and turned over and was like, ah! It was so stressful. Okay, so then it couldn't have been a dream. I had to have known that I was awake, because I knew, like when he stirred me and I reacted that way, I knew it was because of sleep paralysis. I was aware of that. So that's when I asked him if no, I'm pretty sure he just told me. He said, like, you were doing this really weird breathing thing. I'm like, oh, so I actually do that? So that's like outside of me too? It's not like in my dreams or whatever weirdness? And that made me think, okay, you know, maybe this is related to my medical stuff. Maybe I should bring this up. And I did, and I got in, and the guy, the PA, listened to me at the sleep lab, and he's like, you know, don't take this the wrong way, but there are certain kinds of... Sasha, come here. She went behind the couch. Hey, you don't go back there. Hey, sweetie. Oh, I love your kisses, but I don't know where your mouth has been. Can we get something to play? Here. Oh, here, get down. Oh, go get it. Hello, sweets. Hello, sweetsums. Ishashki. Come. Oh, shit. Here, bring it back. Let me throw it better. I can do better. Okay, so went to the doctor, sat with the doctor listened to my story, and he was like, there are certain kinds of people, and they have certain kinds of characteristics. They're a little weird. And so, like, I started laughing because I know I'm weird. I don't care, whatever. By the way, I gotta show off my outfit. It has cats laser beaming, and then it has like a floral thing over it. It's just kind of weird and kooky. Burp. Yes. So, characteristics tend to be a little weird. Have you ever heard of narcolepsy? And then he described how, you know, it's not even just when you get excited or when you get stressed out that you have symptoms. and you can get like attacks where like people tend to lose muscle tone, but you can also go rigid. So if you know the famous videos of the goats that when frightened get tense and stiff up, that also happens to me. Like this hand will get tense and come up here.
Muscle spasms are bad.
My foot gets tense. If I exercise too exuberantly, the same thing happens. I think it was just yesterday, I danced my heart out, and it was so fun, and it was so good for my soul. And afterwards, when I started to relax, the muscles started to flip out. And I describe it like it feels like there's a line that starts like behind my eye, and it goes back here, and it goes back here, and it goes down here, and it goes right into like the second or third toe and to my hand, so like to this finger here. Sometimes I can show it. There's a moment where you can kind of see it flipping out. It'll vibrate, and it feels like this through the entire line of that system. And yesterday I caught a video, I caught my toes going like that. Just like, I'm not doing that. That's not me. The one thing that makes, like, I bring myself down with is as soon as I think of these symptoms and I describe them and I'm like, I know I'm not doing this, I go back to my last neurology appointment. And the doctor just said, oh, it's all in your head. And I just started crying because why? And so that gets me in this rabbit hole of like just being so angry at Western medicine for failing me for so long. Y'all failed me, guys. You didn't ask enough questions. I am a patient. I don't know to ask questions because I'm not a doctor. I didn't spend all that time in school. If you were to ask me how to make a great website, yeah, I can tell you that. I went to school for that. I can do that. If you went to school for that, why can't you tell me? Like, why is it that I have to like... why do I have to lose like 10 years of my life to these weird symptoms? Because doctors are not lazy, but overworked and not given enough time. It just makes me so angry. Livid. A rant. Placing that on the shelf for later. So I have narcolepsy. The treatment for that is all kinds of stimulants. They don't like to use coffee, and I've been using coffee. I've been self-medicating for how many years now, trying to be able to live and sustain myself and work. Yeah, so they put you on stimulants. They also gave me this big packet to read through and like a little USB thing to watch about a medication called Zymin or Zermin. Maybe it actually does help people. The doctor today, he told me there's a lot of stigma around this drug because it's been abused on the streets, because it's Ruhifnol. It's the date rape drug. So there's a reason. It is really fascinating to treat these problems. I have to go on stimulants, which are a class 3 protected drug, and then also Ruhifnol. I don't know if I'm saying it right, so please don't judge me too harshly. Do you like my dog's butt? Hey, sweets. What's up? You want to play with something? You look so beautiful. So I'm definitely going to try the stimulant to see if that helps. I've been wanting to try something like that for a long time, because at first I thought my concentration issues were because I could not concentrate. Like I thought it was ADD. And I have family members that also have ADD and are treated for it. I tried to go to, they were psychiatric things, to try and get some help, but trying to jump through hoops to get one of those meds is difficult. Unless you have narcolepsy, apparently, because as soon as I was like, yep, you have narcolepsy, here's a stimulant. I'm like, well, gee, thanks, doc. Whereas before, when I thought it was ADD problems, they were like, oh, we can't. And I had to see 3 different doctors. I had to tell them my story all over again. I had to pee in a cup 3 times to prove I wasn't on drugs. And even then, I got lost in the system. I'm like, oh. And it's not like I'm like super like, give me some drugs. Not at all. I just want to feel better. I want to be able to work consistently and have a stable paying job. Like I kind of want to feel like a normal person. For all you normal people out there, I kind of want that life. Like I would like to be rambunctious 30-year-old. You know, like 30 is when like the fun stuff happens, when you start having babies and you start building houses for yourself, like multiple houses for yourself. And that's when you really find the love of your life and you settle down and you stuff and you have beautiful moments together. And you can't have too many beautiful moments if you are like on a rollator or you use a cane or you're like having a weird day and you have like sunglasses on with a hat and you have like a ice pack back here. You feel like an old person.
I kind of look like a grandma right now. Okay, so majority of my pain is anytime I step on my left side. It's just this. See, I stopped myself because it's a theory, but I mean, I guess I'm the only one that lives with my body, so I would know it best, right? It feels like the entire, from head to toe, is ricocheting with this electric pain. I feel like I can't breathe. So the past couple days I've been like moving from one horizontal position to another.
Having the muscle jerks makes life very interesting, and it makes moments of excitement very interesting. And we don't like to talk about libido and sexual health, especially if a woman talks about it. There are so many women out there that have chronic pain and chronic symptoms and illnesses that affect libido and sex drive and sex and how to have it. Oh, just that the genitourinary symptoms kind of thing. Like for me, example, I can't pee very well. It sucks. I'm supposed to be self-cathing, but let me ask you this. Do you want to self-cath? Self-cath. 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 No, you don't. Trust me, you don't. The idea of doing it myself, I'm already passing out. Like, this is me passing out right now. Don't eat my papers. Yeah, because I can't control muscles on the left side of my body. They contract, and especially in that area because of the hypermobility aspect too. So if I'm sitting, it crunches everything very easily for me. And one of the areas that gets crunched the easiest if you're sitting is your hip area. And so it makes peeing difficult for me. Like I have to call on the gods to surround me with their white light. And I have to like actively try to relax this whole area. But if I relax it, and I just did it, that's what happens. So there's like a Hi, sweetie. No, don't need that. No, don't eat it. That's what happens. So, imagine me during sex, wink wink, where you get really excited and you tense up, and then you relax because you naturally are doing like this, the constant like stress that happens as soon as I relax. If I relax too much, heaven forbid, those spasms happen and I start seeing colors, and now I'm in all kinds of pain right now, you guys. Like it's right back because as you saw, it like shoots my neck over to the side. So, when I read about narcolepsy, it said moments that you would experience cataplexy, which is what I have. I have narcolepsy with cataplexy, which cataplexy is like when you lose the muscle tone and you have the rigidity and stuff like that. And it said that often like triggers are stressful times, even a little bit of stress, laughing, having fun, joy. And then it also said sex. And I was like, thank God. Because I've been going to the OB-GYN mentioning this. And they're like, I don't know. It's not us. Well, then what is it? Because this isn't normal. Another thing that's really interesting about it, welcome to my sex life. Afterwards, oftentimes the muscle is so stimulated that it stays stimulated for up to like an hour. So be riding high for like an hour. I oftentimes say, I'm gonna die. This isn't allowed to happen. I'm gonna die now. This is how I die. Unless I am dying. I would be a little bummed if I was dying. I pretty much made some peace with the idea of dying. I know the biggest thing I was worried about with dying is what's going to happen with all my stuff. And then there was one night I talked with Sean about it, and I was like, okay, so if I do die, this is what is going to happen. This stuff is going to my so-and-so, and this is going to so-and-so. So I should probably write a will, just in case. Like, it's good to have. I'm not saying I'm dying anytime soon. As I hold my cross, I'm like, I'm not going to die anytime soon. And that's the thing, though. Like, being chronically ill for so long, not really getting